My name is Carrie and welcome to Sushi Chef, the company where high quality meets deliciousness. I use Sushi Chef Japanese products to make easy to prepare meals that you can make from the comfort of your own home. Follow us on our cooking adventures by subscribing to this channel below and clicking the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos. Our social media is linked in the description box below. Today, we're making tuna poke, a beautiful and delicious Hawaiian dish that is super easy and quick to make. If you're ready for the video, let's get started. Here we have all of the ingredients and appliances we will be using today to make our tuna poke. First, we have 1 pound of fresh raw tuna. It's important that your tuna is fresh and specifically meant to be eaten raw. That will enhance the flavor and quality of your dish. If you can, buy sashimi grade. This kind of tuna is the best to use for our dish. Also, make sure that your tuna has as few white streaks as possible. These streaks are connective tissue that will make your cube tuna pretty chewy, so cut around these lines if you have to, so your tuna comes out soft. We have measuring spoons, a measuring cup, a large bowl, and 2 sharp knives. Next, we have sea salt. We have the Sushi Chef bamboo paddle that we're going to be using to toss all of our ingredients together. Lastly, we have our Sushi Chef products. For our marinade, we have the Sushi Chef Japanese sesame oil and the Sushi Chef dark soy sauce. For our toppings, we have Sushi Chef Furikake and Sushi Chef white sesame seeds. So the first thing we're going to do is cut up this tuna. We want to cut it up into 1/2 inch cubes. Let's start by cutting it into strips. Cutting this tuna doesn't necessarily have to be neat. It may be a little bit tough to cut through this tuna, especially if it's thick like this one. Just apply pressure and use these swishing motions to make a good cut. As I'm cutting through these white streaks. Since this connective tissue is part of the tuna, it may be a little bit harder to cut through easily. We just want to make sure that our tuna poke does not have a lot of these white streaks. Alright, now that we've cut our tuna into slices, let's cut them up into cubes. Now this is also a lot of trial and error. I can see that my cubes are still pretty big. So let's try cutting this slice in half. Now I really like the size of this cube. I'm gonna keep using this method now. Now, I am not a pro cook or a tuna poke connoisseur, but what's great about this dish is that you can really do whatever you want. If you want bigger cubes, go for it. If you want smaller, try that out too. You don't have to follow a specific recipe. You can choose how much or how little you want. Some cubes might be bigger than others, and that's fine. I think it's actually better to see how each unique tuna was made. I can remember how much fun I had just slicing up this tuna. I'm gonna put my first 1/2 pound into my bowl. This tuna looks absolutely delicious. I'm so excited to see how this dish turns out. You can see that this piece has a lot of the white streaks we're talking about. I'm not as crazy about adding this one to our dish, so we can either cut the white streaks off or not use it at all. I'm not going to use this one. Keep in mind that they are going to alter the texture that you really want from this dish. You don't want your poke to be overly chewy. You want it to be soft with an almost melt in your mouth texture. You might see some pieces that you don't really like as much. You can see if they're still useful, but if they're not, don't worry. You don't have to use all of the tuna that you cut. This piece has a lot of white streaks, so I'm going to avoid that side. Alright, now I'm done cutting. Let me add all of this to our bowl. Next, we're going to cut our scallions. First, let's cut off the bottoms and the tops. Those areas don't really taste like much, so we won't be needing them. These scallions are going to add a strong flavor and crispy texture to our dish. Now that we've cut our scallions, we can chop them up. What I like to do is to bunch up these scallions together and then hold them down while I cut with the knife. You want to cut really thin pieces and apply pressure evenly. Your scallions might come apart, especially as you near their edges, but just regroup and hold them together again. It might get a little bit messy and uneven in the end, but that doesn't matter. Just make sure you have a lot of small scallions chopped. And there we go. Our scallions are done. We're going to be using 1/2 cup of scallions. Okay, let's put it in. Now it's time to add our marinade of dark soy sauce and sesame oil. First, let's add 1/2 cup of dark soy sauce. The Sushi Chef dark soy sauce will add a subtle tanginess to our tuna poke. Then let's spread it around evenly. Next, let's add 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Sushi Chef Japanese sesame oil will add a nutty, slightly sweet flavor. We want our delicious soy sauce and sesame oil to complement the natural taste of tuna, not overwhelm it. That's why I've included these specific measurements. Next, let's add 1 tablespoon of white sesame seed. These sesame seeds will add a subtle flavor and provide a great crunch. Lastly, let's add 1 to 2 pinches of sea salt. Now, let's mix. As you're mixing, be careful with the tuna. You want to make sure all of the tuna is coated with our marinade, and the scallions and sesame seeds are distributed evenly. Now, as much as I want to dig into this delicious tuna poke now, the best way to eat tuna poke is cold. I'm going to put my dish in the refrigerator for 2 hours. You can also keep your tuna poke in the fridge for up to 2 days, but it's best to eat it the day you make it. Now that we've taken our tuna poke out of the refrigerator, we can put a little bit into a small bowl. I'm also going to add a little bit of our marinade. Now the last thing I'm going to add is the Sushi Chef Furikake. Furikake is a popular Japanese seasoning consisting of nori, bonito flakes, and white sesame seeds. Its savory flavor and crispy texture will add even more dimension to this great dish. I'm so excited to try this. This looks delicious. You can really see everything. You can see the sesame seeds, the nori, the bonito flakes, the scallions, and not to mention the tuna. But what I really love about this dish is that every single ingredient brings something so unique. Let's try. Oh my gosh, wow. Wow. Oh my god, that is so good. This tuna is so soft, but it's not chewy. It is like that melt in your mouth feeling. That marinade is there, but it's subtle. It really enhances the flavor of the tuna. Wow. The scallions are so crunchy, and the furikake and the sesame seeds are amazing toppings. I can even taste the bonito flakes and the nori on their own. As I said before, each ingredient just has its own moment. That's so good. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I had so much fun making this delicious tuna poke with the Sushi Chef Japanese sesame oil, dark soy sauce, white sesame seed, furikake, and bamboo paddle. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to become a Sushi Chef foodie to see more cooking videos like this one. I'd also love to hear your suggestions for future videos. That's it for today. See you next time.